Hey, how's it going everyone? Welcome to part 2, week 2 of unleashing AI on my £500 trading account. Now, week 1 was a great week. I'll put up on the screen what percentage and profit we were able to generate in the first week of this challenge. We are now on Friday of week 2, so as of 10 p.m. UK time tonight, the markets will go ahead and close. Therefore, I can summarize week number 2's results at the end of this video and show you exactly what we did during week number 2. But what I essentially wanted to do was just give you a little bit of a breakdown for now on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, how we did through those days, and I'll give you an end of week summary once tonight has closed at the end of this video. So stay tuned if you want to see the full results for week number 2. But let's go ahead, jump into the results and show you what we've been able to do in the last week while unleashing AI on my trading account. So what I wanted to do, now I'm at the desk, just before I go ahead and dive into week number 2's results, is basically just give you guys a bit of a general update on how I'm feeling, how the challenge is going so far. So first of all, in terms of sticking to the rules, I have done absolutely fine with sticking to the rules. Besides a few of the days when I've loaded up the account, I've seen that there's a trade in a nice profit, and I've been tempted to go ahead and close out because I can see based on my previous profits that this is an above average trade. Now, I haven't done so. I'd hold my hands up if I'd made that mistake, but I haven't closed any of these trades by myself, but that has definitely been a temptation during the week. Now, I know as a profitable trader, that might seem like a bit of an emotional decision. However, I keep all of my personal trading and everything that I'm doing in my own life completely separate to this little mini challenge that I'm running with some fun money on the side and just allowing AI to trade it. So you can imagine how kind of the mindset shifts between the two of those. And I've definitely seen the pound signs in the last 2 weeks on the Flipper account, and I've been like, I really want to pull some of these, make some extra profits for myself, but that would simply be manipulating the results. Not that that was ever my intention, not that I've even done it, but essentially that's where I'm at right now. That's what I've kind of come across in the last week. The other thing that I've noticed in the last week to 2 weeks is that what I'm actually closing out my day-to-day balance with, and then what I'm actually able to go ahead and withdraw, are two different things. Now, the reason why is because I'm using a standard account for this challenge. Now, normally I would use a raw spread account, so I'd have a more direct feed and I'd pay less sort of expense, I guess you could say, into entering each of my trades. Well, I'm now using a standard account, which essentially means that my spreads can fluctuate based on the pair, time frame, whatever's going on in the markets. It can change essentially, so the cost of getting into my trade can change, therefore that can impact the results very slightly. And there's also a swap fee for holding overnight as well, and if you hold overnight on a Wednesday or obviously through a weekend, you're looking to pay a larger fee. So there's no weekend holding, however there is overnight holding. So I have noticed a swap fee on my account, which is very minimally going to take out some of the profits at the end of the next 30 days. But essentially what I'm going to do, to kind of explain how all of this works, is I'm going to dive into my Google Sheet. I'm going to show you what we were essentially able to do throughout the rest of the last week, and then I'm going to explain and show you guys the summary. And the way in which I'm going to do that is, once the challenge has gone ahead and finished up, I'm going to take down all of the daily results, all of the profits in which I've earned, and I'm going to show you that as a raw result. So that's going to be result number 1. Result number 2 is going to be essentially that result, and then I'm going to minus any charges, swap fees that I paid, any sort of withdrawal charges, any loss of deposit bonus, anything like that, so I can then give you a completely rounded figure of what I was actually able to realize in profits for myself. Now, this is the thing when it comes to trading. So many traders keep their money invested in their accounts, they keep trading, they run up profits, they might take some losses, but they never actually go ahead and realize any profits. They never take it out of their account. Now, if you remember from week 1, which if you haven't already seen it, make sure to go and watch week 1 of this challenge. But I essentially said that each day I'm going to be withdrawing my profits, so I go back to my baseline balance. Now, this system isn't one that compounds, so it's not taking like a risk per trade. It takes a fixed entry amount, so it takes a fixed lot entry every single trade that it takes. So we choose to predefine that within the rules when I set up the algorithm, and then that's just essentially going to be running for me in the background on that set risk. Now, normally with a compound trader, it would obviously be, as you increase your balance, taking 1 to 2% of that balance in itself. If you were to lose, you'd then be taking 1 to 2% of that new balance. Well, this doesn't work in the same way. However, what I wanted to do was show you guys that I am withdrawing profits. This is something that can actually make you money, and I physically have taken that money out. That money is in my account, that is spendable by myself, and I'm still then running the algorithm. So what I wanted to do now was basically just give you an update on the challenge, tell you what I've been able to go ahead and withdraw in profits, and show you what we've done from Monday to Thursday in the last week. And then at the end of this video, I will show you Friday and a full week summary. So first of all, loading up onto the Google Sheet. As you can see here, this was when we started the challenge. This was the first day of the challenge, was on the 16th of March. We then ran through our first week here from the 17th to the 20th of March, and we then had obviously trading closed out on Friday. We have no weekend holdings, so there was no trades held over the weekend, 0 position count for both of those, and then I've just noted that down for visual sake. Now, in the first week, as mentioned in the last video, we were able to close out on around £159 to £160 in profit. That was all mentioned, broken down day by day, and I showed you guys all of these results in themselves. Now, for week number 2, what we had is we had it starting on the 23rd of March, and that's ran all the way through to the 27th, which is today's date. And I'm not going to be obviously updating what we've done for today, purely based on the fact that the day isn't done yet. So I'm hoping to see some more profits come through. I actually have the account open on the side here to go ahead and see if we've got any new trades coming through at the given point in time. But basically, what we had is we had our first day of the week. So this was on Monday. We had 72 trades taken on Monday, which is our highest volume trading day so far. Obviously, where this is scalping the market, some of those positions happened within seconds to minutes. Others were held, throughout the duration of that day in itself. But what we had was a total of 72 positions opened and closed for the day of the 23rd. Now, this finished us up with a £544 closing balance, including the £100 bonus. So for us, that was actually a £444 total, which left us with a £44 profit. So I'm going to put the percentage gains up on screen and the amount in itself, so you can go ahead and see a total that is forming. So then we move on to day number 2. So day number 2 on the 24th, we had a total of 34 positions entered and closed out on that day. We finished up with a balance of £508.50, again including that bonus. So that left us with a total profit of £8.50 for day number 2. Now, moving on to day number 3 with the new total on screen, we have 28 trades taken. We have £508.62 as a closing balance, and that left us as £8.62 in total. Now, what basically happened when I withdrew this on that particular day was it caused some of the bonus to be withdrawn. So on my account currently, I have a £98.08 bonus. Bear in mind, I started this challenge with £100. Now, the reason why this happens is because essentially when you're taking a withdrawal, it can sometimes see that you're taking out the original amount as opposed to taking out the profits if you've already got some open trades. So due to that happening, it essentially withdrew like £2 of my bonus. So now I'm trading with £98 on my bonus as opposed to 100, but it's not really going to impact the challenge massively. As I said, we're not taking risk per trade percent or anything like that. We are simply taking fixed lot size positions on the account in itself. So moving on to the next day, which was Thursday, so yesterday's day, as you can see here, we had 29 trades taken, £2.11 in actual profit. Now, the reason why I've done this is because, as I mentioned here, the bonus got withdrawn, so I wanted basically just to reset my balance. So I allowed my balance to reset and then trade from that point. But if we were to actually account for what the whole trading day in itself was able to do, we were able to generate £2.11 in total profit for that day. Now, as mentioned, we've also got Friday, which is today's day, and I'm not going to be going ahead and updating that just yet. Reason being is because the day hasn't closed, so hoping to see some more profits, as I mentioned. So that's been the past week. We've generated so far a profit of £63.23. Now, in terms of what I've actually gone ahead and withdrawn in the previous week, I have withdrawn £65.99. So I've actually managed to withdraw just over this amount. Now, the reason why I might say that is because obviously I'm going by a custom time frame. So I go top right corner, I click last week, and then I'm not sure on the exact times in specifics, but from what I've been able to withdraw from myself, that is the balance based on these returns that we've generated for the week. That might include some from last week. However, I'll put percentages up on screen, and as I've said, I'm still withdrawing the profits every single day from my account, and I'm just allowing it to continue growing. Let's hope that week 3 and week 4 are as good as week 1 and 2 have been. So far, we're actually at a 100% win rate. Even on those smaller days, we've still had profitable days amongst losing trades as well. So it's been an incredible usage of the AI algorithms, showing you how they differ from real trading. I'm not sat here going, my real trading strategy has a 100% win rate, so on and so forth. It's simply not how the markets work when you are manual trading. However, for algorithms, if you build them in the right way and you utilize them in the right way, they can be a profitable thing for you to utilize. So it's been a good week. What I'm going to go ahead and do now is allow Friday to finish up. I will see you all once Friday is finished up and give you a complete end of week summary and show you what I've withdrawn in terms of profits as well. So it's now Saturday, which is the day after we had the market closure for Friday. So I have the summary of yesterday's results. And the reason why I didn't get to actually update you on Friday itself is obviously, as mentioned, I was still recording this video during trades being open. We then had the market closure in the evening and I was waiting for the final trades to go ahead and close out so I could give you a full total for the last week, so the second week of the challenge. However, we have 3 positions which have unfortunately remained open over the weekend. It doesn't have that much of an impact in terms of like the results that we're going to make. There's no swap charges for the weekend, etc. They happen on Wednesday, as I previously mentioned. The only difference that we're going to see with these 3 positions is when we open up into the new week, based on the changing of spreads and the market open price, we could see a jump either in profit or negative, but it shouldn't really impact things. There's literally minus £3.47 in a floating drawdown on a tiny amount of positions. So I'm not really bothered by it. It's just one of those, but I thought, you know, for the transparency of this challenge, I'll let you know we are currently weekend holding, which obviously isn't part of the algorithm's rules. So I have contacted the team that runs it and just said like, look, do you know why these positions have remained open? So I'm waiting on an update from those guys. But yeah, so let's go ahead, break down what we were able to do for Friday, and then give you a full week summary with the total returns across the second week and also total for the first and second week combined. Just quickly, before I jump into the Google Sheets while I'm at the desk, what I wanted to show you was the actual account in itself with those floating trades. As you can see there, we've got 3 positions, the markets are shut. I haven't been able to withdraw my profit for Friday. The reason being why I haven't been able to withdraw my profit is because you cannot withdraw unless you've closed all trades. Obviously, with how this normally operates, you close all trades for the weekend, so you can then go ahead and get your funds out. But while these positions are open and we are not in normal market hours, I'm not able to go ahead and extract the profits from Friday. However, I'm going to get those transferred as soon as possible. So literally market open, I'll get that out of my account. And then sticking to obviously the rules of video number 1 is that I must reset my balance each day before we go ahead and trade. So as you can see, we've got these trades open. It's not a biggie. We've got a balance to withdraw. Again, that's not a biggie. And if I just go ahead and show you for the past week. So yeah, if we go to last week's returns, as you can see there, withdrawn 65.99. This is not including Friday's profits. So if I now actually go onto the Google Sheet in itself and show you what we've been able to do, we've done £74.55 this week. I have withdrawn £65.99, so I obviously have a small amount to go ahead and withdraw. Now, I won't be withdrawing to the full amount of profit generated this week. Reason being, as previously mentioned, is that we have charges and things to account for, so those will be coming out, and then I'll be letting you know the total that I've withdrawn at the end of this challenge only, so stay tuned for that as well. But yeah, let's go ahead, show you what we did for Friday. We did 54 trades. We had £508.04 closure balance, and we had £11.32 in profit for that day. Now, bear in mind, the reason why my balance was 508, but I've actually generated an £11 profit, you're going maths isn't mathsing here, is because if you remember, I had a small bonus deduction. So what I was actually able to generate obviously brings me to a lower balance because I'm only starting with a lesser balance now by around like £2. So all the numbers add up. That was the profit for the day, was £11.32. That's what I've got to go ahead and get out at market open. But it's been a good week all round again. This is what we've done for the first week of the challenge. This is what we've done for the second week of the challenge. And then this is what we've done as a combined total for halfway through this challenge. So stay tuned for episode 3 and 4. It's been a pleasure. See you all in the next one.